Hello viewers, today's video is about sorting out battery issues with the Scala Rider G9 intercom system. Now, we've been running this system for over 10 years and it's been fantastic, but as you can expect with any electronic product, the battery life has been starting to struggle over the last few years, and the end of last year's riding season, the one battery packed in completely. So I stripped it apart to have a look what was going on and found that the batteries are very easy to change in there. They're plug and play, no soldering required. You only need one tool to open it up, and the batteries cost under £20. So you might be tempted to buy a new system if your batteries are playing up, but if the rest of the system's working fine, don't waste the money. So let's get into it and have a look how we sort this out. Okay then folks, so to strip it down, all you need is a Torx driver. It's a T6. So to strip it apart, you need to undo 5 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When you undo this one, just be careful because the aerial is going to come loose as well. Okay then folks, when taking this apart, you need to take note of the length of the screws, because there's 2 different sizes. So that there is a slightly longer screw, as I expect this one would be. Don't actually build up a crud in there. Doesn't actually want to come out, but that'll be a longer one as well. So shorter one in the top there. And a shorter one in the aerial. So remember, when you go to put them back together, you can go back to this point in the video if you forget. The screw through the centre of the aerial and the screw in the top there are the 2 shorter screws. The 2 bottom ones and the one in the top corner there, they're longer screws. Now when we pull this apart, there is a little gap there to help you. Don't worry too much about the aerial. It's not too bad, not to damage really. It's on a plug and socket. The reason this is struggling to come apart at the moment is because there's tape on the battery itself. So this is the aerial here, look. I wouldn't be afraid to take that off just to get it out of the way. This little bit of plastic here always comes out. Plastic, this little bit of rubber that actually sits there like that. So when you come to putting this back together, just make sure that's back in place. I don't know whether it'll show up on video then. Look at the crud that's come from inside this intercom. Even a dead nut or something in there. So while this is apart, I'm going to get a brush and brush out the worst. And this battery hasn't quite swollen as much as the one that failed completely. The battery's just on a plug and socket there, look. Out nice and easy. That's started to swell a little bit to the original. So if you notice that your headsets are no longer telling you they're fully charged, even though the battery life and capacity is suffering, they could actually be overcharging and starting to swell. The one that failed completely swelled that much. Now I dare say that could have been close to the point of actually catching fire. So it's lucky it did fail really. So I'm going to give this a brush out and a clean out and then put it back together. Okay then folks, let's give this a little brush here with a nice soft brush inside. Get rid of all the debris that has built up. Let's get the battery and get it back together. take care to align the battery plug correctly. I don't know how well you're going to be able to pick this up, but the 2 pins are in the top of the socket, so make sure the 2 pins are towards the top of the plug. And then it's just a case I flip that over there 180 to get those cables out of the way, because you will notice on the one that I pulled out there, the cables are actually been flattened a little bit. So we do that, and it should avoid it, keep it out of the way of the screws and stuff still. So that should sit nicely there. When you reclip the aerial in, it's better off pointing the cable out towards the end, like that. And make sure that our bit of rubber is back in the case. Push it together this end first. Get the cable to coil up nicely and get the spring to sit in behind that shoulder there. And then as we close it, we can turn the aerial. It'll all sit back in nicely. The spring is still, it's at in the right place. Nothing's pinched or caught. We've got a good seal all the way around, and then it's these screws to go back in. So the aerial screw was a short one. The top hole next to it was a short one. The 2 bottom fixings were longer, as was the top right hand fixing. And I wanted them to be magnetic and come out, it struggled. I'm putting it back in, it's sticking to the screwdriver. Typical. Now, these are only small screws, so you only need to nip them up. You don't need to do them ridiculously tight. You'll split the plastic, strip the threads, and it will not seal. There we go. 2 repaired intercom units. So then folks, there we have it. A fairly straightforward job that could save you a fortune in buying new units. I've just plugged it into charge, got 2 red lights. I'm going to monitor the first charge and make sure it all charges up alright. But I'm sure we'll now get many more years out on the road with these fantastic units. Cheers folks.